Rob from Japanese Gaming here, and today's video topic is somewhat more of a serious one. I think it's something that needs to be addressed. I know I can already tell that some of the most of the comments are gonna be that I should just not be talking about this because I am not really part of the whole thing. You know, I'm just some nobody YouTuber with like 32 subs or something like that. But I think this is an important thing to talk about, and we're gonna be talking about today the whole PewDiePie thing. And I know everyone's been doing this to death, um, but it's something that needs to be addressed in a different light. And it's not just about Felix. It's not just about what happened to him, but just the whole idea in general. And that's the idea that modern media does not know how to handle internet personalities. They just don't. They have no idea how to go about what the internet is, what internet personalities are, what they serve, what their function is, and it's an issue. And I'm going to kind of talk about my opinions and my thoughts on it. And I think it starts with not understanding. I don't think a lot of the people that work in modern media really understand what an internet personality is all about. A lot of the people that are in modern media are older. Let's, get that out of the way first of all. A lot of the people that work for a lot of these companies like Wall Street Journal and New York Times are an older generation. Even if they have people on their staff that are 21, the millennial age, those people aren't necessarily going to be able to get their points across like they would because their bosses are going to be older. You can't explain to a 56-year-old guy who's been in the media for 40 years what a meme is. He's not going to understand. He might understand on a surface level, like, well, it's this funny internet picture and like everyone shares it and blah 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 blah, but he's not going to understand internet culture. And we see this all the time with the media. The media is so slow to pick up on things, and it's so slow to wrap its mind around things. When rock and roll first came out, some media outlets were criticizing it, as this horrible trash noise, devil's music, XYZ, rock and rollers are horrible role models for kids, this and that, and all this other stuff. Because they didn't understand it. It was so new to them that like all these old dudes like that's not music, and it's like, well, guess what? Just because you don't understand something doesn't mean you can hate it. But unfortunately, for a lot of people, when they don't understand something, they fear that thing. And I'm not saying that the media is afraid of internet personalities. I think that's BS. Felix in his video, I watched his video, he said that he thinks they're afraid. I don't think they're afraid of them. I just don't think they get it. A lot of the stuff on the internet is buried and buried under levels and levels of irony and context that nobody would get unless they were paying attention. No, I think the Wall Street Journal did a garbage job on reporting on this. First of all, whoever wrote that article and whoever approved that article should be fired immediately. That is garbage journalism. It is subpar. It is so inaccurate and so taken out of context that it's disgusting. I mean, they literally had a picture. They took a screenshot of one of his videos where he's pointing to something off screen. He's like, pointing, but they just have him doing like this. Right now, if somebody wanted to, they could screenshot this and say, well, look, Rob's a Nazi. He's Hitler saluting. I could just be very well pointing to something over there. But they took that and really? That's journalism? That's journalism. And then it took other videos of his out of context, like the video where he was watching the Hitler thing and like nodding along. He was making fun of idiots that actually do that. Felix wasn't just sitting there watching a Hitler documentary and being like, "Oh, this is pretty good." Like that's not what that was about. And then the thing where he was, I think it was like the video he's like involving Stalin or something like that. They also took that out of context where he was. It wasn't him propagating Nazi and Stalinist and fascist ideas. It was buried under these levels of internet irony that you wouldn't understand unless you A, watch the whole video, because I don't think whoever made that article watched the whole video, or B, had the context of it. You know, if you take anything, you can take anything out of context and you can ruin somebody's life. I mean, I've said some stuff on this channel that without context would appear super racist and super, prejudiced, but I wasn't being that because I was just making fun of somebody. Like I'd say something like, well, if I right now said the phrase people who there are people in this world who think fuck all Jews, they should all die, are is a great ideology, and I disagree with that. You could cut that statement to just say fuck all Jews, they should all die. Guess what? You just took away the whole context of the video. You took away the whole context of the sentence, and you made it sound like I'm a Nazi now. You know what I'm saying? It's buried under levels of irony and context that clearly the writers for the Wall Street Journal didn't understand. Whoever wrote that article, I don't care how old they are. They could have been a 19-year-old kid who has been using the internet his whole life. Whoever who wrote that article does not understand what was going on. He just saw an opportunity and he jumped on it. And the fact that the Wall Street Journal then went and bullied YouTube into cutting Felix's ties with their maker studio is ridiculous. That's not the point. The media's job is to serve as a watchdog, but a watchdog with integrity, and that's not what was going on here. What was going on here was somebody took a shot at a guy who has a YouTube channel and basically got him cut off. And now he ignited a whole debate because your stupid journalist didn't do his research, didn't understand what was going on, and just started saying things without any context. And like I said, you could take anybody out of context. Literally 100% of people across the board. If you wanted to, you could take the Pope out of context and make him seem like a racist. You could take the Dalai Lama and make him seem like the most horrible individual on the planet if you took him out of context and without knowing about who he is or what's going on. And it's just so stupid to me. The Wall Street Journal, I really honestly thought that the Wall Street Journal was or had some sort of journalistic integrity, but I mean, this whole thing has just really opened my eyes about it, where clearly it's not. And they even went so far into put in a stupid video apology, because if PewDiePie then after talked about it and apologized for it, and they said apologies can camouflage messages that may still be received and celebrated by hate groups. That's not his fault. If your stupid dumb journalist took him out of context, spread these videos of him, and other idiots interpreted it as hate speech, that's not his fault. What don't you understand? I could just as easily turn around and point at the Wall Street Journal and say, well, you're spreading hate messages because you're spreading his message around, and if you're going to perceive that as a hate message, then all you're doing is being a vessel for the hate message. I could just turn the whole thing around and point my finger at the Wall Street Journal and say that they're the ones spreading the hate message. If you as a person say something and someone else interprets it in a certain way, that has no bearing on you as an individual. Okay? If I walked out tomorrow and said, well, I think everybody, I'm just going to take some stupid example, I think everybody should be able to, enjoy marriage, and, everyone should be able to be happy. Okay, let's go back. I said, I think everyone should be able to be happy in life. Some idiot could take that out of context and say, oh, well, he thinks that, pedophiles and rapists deserve to be happy in life too. So clearly he's like, perpetrating man boy love and all this other stuff. And guess what? The Wall Street Journal would turn around and point the finger at me and say, well, clearly, somebody interpreted that way. So like, that's the case. That's not the case at all. What some dumbass on the internet or some dumbass in some hate group interprets your message as isn't your problem. Okay? Because like I said, anyone can interpret anyone in any way they want. This isn't like, oh, well, he shouldn't have posted those things in the first place if he knew people were going to interpret it that way. Well, guess what? It doesn't matter. You could post the most innocuous video on the planet and people are still going to interpret it in whatever way they want to suit their needs. And let me just talk about J.K. Rowling for a second here, because first of all, J.K. Rowling, you don't have a dog in this fight, okay? Because you post this stupid this stupid Twitter post for those who think fascism is an edgy accessory talking about how Felix got dropped. You know, you don't. It's not okay. Let me rephrase this. It's not that you don't have a dog in this fight. J.K. Rowling, you're a dumbass. All right, you're a fucking idiot. I'm just putting that out there. This has nothing to do with who you are as a writer. I've read the Harry Potter series. I love them. Whatever. Who gives a shit? You're a fucking idiot. You've been in the media long enough to know that you shouldn't jump on whatever everyone says. Okay? Because you're a writer. You should know this. You've been involved in this. You had the experience in this. You should know more than almost anyone else on the planet or in any other profession on the planet. You know, as an entertainer, we'll say, you should be aware of this. So for you to go out and post this stupid Twitter post about this guy who was clearly taken out of context is bullshit, okay? And I know, like, for some reason, J.K. Rowling's been on a liberal crusade for whatever goddamn reason. I don't know. She just got something stuck. You know, something struck her the wrong way. And that's okay. You know what? If her opinion is very left leaning, that's fine. You know, everyone's entitled to their opinion. But don't make him out to be some sort of neo-Nazi Hitler because it suits your ideology, okay? Don't victimize this guy because it just so happens to be in line with what you want to do. Because that's bullshit. Because now you're just making him out to be something that he's not because it furthers your plan for your ideology, okay? I've lost so much respect for J.K. Rowling as a human being these last couple months as a result of this, and or not, yeah. You know what? We'll say months because, like I said, she's just been on this just tangent in this crusade. And again, it has nothing to do with politics. I don't hate her because of her politics, okay? I don't hate her because she's more liberal leaning. That's fine. That has nothing to do with this. I've lost a lot of respect because she's turning what other people is saying into some skewed statement because it suits her. You know, it's essentially like if somebody said, "Oh, hey, you know, there's a person standing in front of you, and if you stab them to death, hey, guess what? Then it furthers your career, or not your career. It furthers your ideology in the minds of everyone, and you just go on and you just stab that person to death. You know, and she's done this to other people too. It's ridiculous. It's stupid and it's ridiculous. And anyone else who's doing it is also a fucking idiot. It's not just J.K. Rowling, but as J.K. Rowling with a person with 9.8 million Twitter followers, you're a fucking idiot for doing this. You know what? I'm sorry. You know what? No, I'm not sorry. Screw you. You're a fucking dumbass. Like I have no patience for this anymore. We have to understand as a society that the media does not understand internet personalities, and it's not going to for a very, very long time. So we're just gonna keep seeing these stupid articles about, oh, you know, this YouTuber makes $8 trillion billion a year, but look how racist he is because they don't get it because it's buried under like 18 million layers of irony. And and a great example of that is that when the media was calling Pepe a racist meme, you know, oh he it's clearly used by the alt right to spread neo-Nazi yada yada bullshit. Again, no, it's not how this works, okay? Just because the alt right happens to, you know, okay, actually, it's not even what happened. Basically, it was just the stupidest thing. It was on, I think it was on MSNBC. They literally took a Pepe meme that somebody had edited to be in a clan hood and was like, this is the example. This right here. One picture on the internet, which houses billions and billions of pictures. This one picture proves that this is a racist thing, which again is so uneducated to say, and it's so stupid. Internet culture is difficult to understand if you've not grown up in it. You know, and I'm not proclaiming myself to be some expert in internet culture, but I'm also not an idiot. I'm a millennial. I grew up with the internet. You know, I was born in 97 and I've grown up with it ever since. So I get it. I'm part of it, you know. But the fact that the media went out of their way to take one picture that they themselves very well could have edited, anybody could have made that, And again, what they don't understand is that without context, there's you can't interpret it without the context. If I wanted to, I could take a picture of Barack Obama and edit him to be in a freaking, like being a Black Panther march and be like, well, clearly, this one picture is going to prove my point and further my ideology that he's a racist. And that's ridiculous because it's not. It's one picture. You can't just take an entire culture and boil it down into a microcosm of one picture and then say, well, there's a definitive proof because there it is. That's not how this works. It's just, I guess what I'm trying to say is that for the time being, the media does not understand the internet at all. I don't care who's writing. I don't care if he's a 21-year-old millennial. Clearly, there's a disconnect between the media and internet culture and internet personalities that there's something that's not clicking there. They don't understand and they don't get it. And for people to be jumping all over Felix like this is some sort of new revelation or something. The dude is not a neo-Nazi and he's not propagating hate speech. Okay? The dude is making internet videos. Did he go overboard? Yes. And he said it himself. I think what he did was a little bit overboard. The whole paying people $5 to hold up that sign. That was a little bit overboard. But he himself admitted it. Okay? But he didn't intend to make that video to make people, rise up for the Fourth Reich for Germany and burn Jews into a crisp, okay? That's not what that was about. But you wouldn't know that if you didn't understand what was actually going on. You just walked into a room and saw some dude holding up a sign and said, there's the proof, without having been there and understanding what was going on. It's like if a house burns down in a fire and you just walked up and saw a box of matches lying in the street. Well, there it is. The matches burned down the house. Even though that's probably not the case because you just got there. What do you know? You don't understand, So I don't have a solution for this. I'm not here to revolutionize the media. My one video on YouTube isn't going to revolutionize the way the media works with internet personalities. My only solution for the time being is this. The media needs to take a good look at itself and understand that reporting on these things haphazardly without any real context is poor journalism. There's no journalistic integrity there. The Wall Street Journal, what they did was wrong. As a form of a media outlet, what the Wall Street Journal did was downright wrong, and they should understand that. There's no journalistic integrity there. I'm not defending what Felix did. He did go overboard. Did Felix go overboard? Yes. But did what the Wall Street Journal did, was that right? No. Because blatantly, it was just not even, it was not even factual. It was just incorrect. It was taken out of context with no actual backing to it. So, we have to understand that the media is not going to understand the internet. The media is not going to understand internet personalities for a long time. It's just not going to happen. Okay? So what we have to do is when this stuff like this comes out, you really have to take a good look at it, understand the context of why it was happening, understand the context of the videos, and understand the context of the media disconnect with the internet. And I guess that's just all we can do for now until the media really finally wakes up one day and realizes that its integrity is going out the window because it's reporting on stuff it really has no idea what's going on. Until that day comes, we have to just take the media with a grain of salt at this point as far as its dealings with the internet is concerned and just go on from there. So again, did Felix go overboard? Yes, but what the Wall Street Journal did was wrong. And anybody that's jumping on this to further their ideology, and I'm looking at you, J.K. Rowling, because you did this. You spread this to your 9.8 million Twitter followers, and you should know better. As a person that's been involved in this industry, you should know better, and you're a fucking idiot. I'm not expecting you to go out and apologize, but just know in the heart of hearts, you're a fucking idiot. I'm sorry. I have no respect for J.K. Rowling after what she did anymore. Okay? Again, who cares? I'm just a dude with 30 subscribers, right? I'm a nobody on the internet. Anyway, I guess that's where I'm going to leave it off. Just wanted to get my opinions out on this because I think this is something that's important to understand going forward. Just take things with a grain of salt from the media from now on, and just be aware. So, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.